Hi, I'm Mary-Louise Taupo, and welcome back to Chat 12 from the Couch. Well, today we have very special guest Karen Millar. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you.
And Karen is a financial advisor with the Prosper Group.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, and Karen is a very, very well-known face around Taupo and very much within the real estate industry. I feel very, very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So Karen, a little bit about yourself. So a financial advisor, what is that?
Yes, so I've been in the mortgage industry for nearly 19 years, previously working in the bank, had a banking background. Basically, I organise mortgages, putting people into houses, into their homes and their dream homes, their first homes, and taking away the stress and the strain of that for the individual.
Yeah. So, well, I know. So, when I was actually selling, I would say to my clients, look, if it can happen, Karen Millar will make it happen. And you did time and time again. And I know that you go absolutely out of the box for people to make sure that they can get across the line on things. Yeah. Karen, it's no secret things have changed in the financial industry at the moment under COVID. COVID's affected everything. How do you think it's affected first home buyers?
Well, it's a little bit of a twofold situation. I guess on one hand, it's enabled first home buyers to think about whether it's time for them to get into the market. Interest rates are obviously low. If there's stability in their job, then now is probably the right time for them to look. Obviously, a lot of them are utilising KiwiSaver, which allows first home buyers to access the money they've saved in their KiwiSaver to date.
Right.
And that just means that they can have a deposit ready to go where they may not ordinarily have been able to save that money to put into the home.
Right. So I have noticed, obviously locally, that the prices are going up and up and up. Is there a cap for KiwiSaver at what they'll loan to?
And not to take out your own individual funds, there's no cap there, but if someone wants to access the first home grant that's available, which is an interest, well, it's basically a free money, up to $5,000 is available if they've been in KiwiSaver for at least 5 years. There is a cap in the Taupo area of $400,000 for a purchase price. A little bit tricky at the moment because obviously, as you say, the market is pretty buoyant. So finding that purchase price is a little bit tough for our first home buyers at the moment.
Right. So if they had more of their own cash, can they exceed that?
Absolutely, yes. They can add their own cash to the KiwiSaver money.
Okay.
But they still wouldn't be able to access the grant if they're purchasing at a higher price.
Understand. So what would be the advantage of using a mortgage broker as opposed to just going into your own bank and getting a loan?
Yep, sure. Well, we like to think that there's a lot of added value we can provide, especially to first home buyers. They come to us, they have no concept of what is involved in purchasing a home, what steps they need to take, whether they can even borrow the money. So I guess for us, we are not affiliated with any one bank. We have access to many lenders, and that just means that we can give that client the best advice. They don't have to go around each bank doing that themselves. They come to us, we can streamline things, let them know where they stand, put them at ease. I like to think that we have that one-on-one contact. People build a rapport, they have some trust with you.
How much would your service cost these people?
Well, that's a good thing. It doesn't cost the client anything. We are paid by the bank.
Right.
I think that's been a perception out there why a lot of people have held back possibly in the past from using brokers.
Right.
They feel as though they have to pay. At the moment, that's not the case. The banks pay us for the job that we do for the client.
Well, that's great. And so would you go to a specific bank every time or
No, well, that's the other interesting thing. No bank criteria is usually the same. So you could come with your information. I run it through our program that we have, and you may qualify with all banks, but you may only qualify with one. So it's completely dependent on your income, the deposit you have, your outgoings as to where you qualify. And that's our job to match you with the appropriate lender.
So is it just first home buyers then that might come to a mortgage broker?
No, absolutely not. If you're looking at, particularly in this market where the market is buoyant, the property values have increased, you might decide now's the time that you want to sell your first home and upgrade and get into the next bracket of home.
Yes.
So we obviously certainly deal with people like that. So no, it's certainly not streamlined to first home buyers at all.
Okay. So what might you offer, say I wanted to hold on to my first home, I was looking at actually purchasing an investment property, would you be able to help out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we determine what availability of equity you have in your property, and then that determines what sort of purchase price you may be able to buy for an investment property. At the moment, the banks have also just allowed a little bit more flexibility with the amount that you can borrow for an investment property.
Oh, okay.
So in a lot of cases, you only now need a 20% deposit.
Right.
So
and it was 30, was it?
It was 30,
right.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So people often ask me in the real estate industry, when is the right time to buy? I'm sure people ask you the same question.
Good question. My theory and philosophy has always been in this industry that if it's the right time for you, then it's the right time to buy. Not everyone's in a position, they may need to save more money towards a deposit. Ideally, the ultimate is for people to buy when the market has dropped. That makes sense, but that's not always the right time for someone to get into a home.
Yeah, that's crystal ball stuff, isn't it? You never know sort of where it's going to be. Well, the feedback I've had, Karen, is that you build great rapport with people, that you actually listen, and that you show empathy. It's
been something I've obviously built up over time. I've got a passion for it. I really like helping people. I get a lot of satisfaction. I guess my first home buyers, I'm really satisfied at the end of all of that because they, like I said before, come to you not knowing anything, then they leave as first home buyers, and that's really satisfying for me. So it is about that whole bigger picture of just getting a buzz myself out of it too.
And in a small town like this, when you're so well known, it's obviously based on repeat and referral business.
I could honestly say that as evidence of what I've just said about building rapport and growing my business, that I am now working with the children of adults that I've worked with, so it does make me feel a bit old, but it's a generational thing, and that's quite satisfying.
Yeah, and they've been clients for life, so you've built the client base from there and all the way through with the kids. Well, that's nice. So I'd like to thank you very much for joining us from the couch this week, Karen.
You're welcome.
And so that's Karen Millar from Prosper Group. So if you've got any financial queries whatsoever, please contact Karen and she will make sure that you are catered for. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.